Hey, thanks for joining me. Today, we're going to tackle chemical spill preparedness. And, this isn't about being alarmed, it's about feeling empowered. So let's dive right in and figure out how to build a solid plan that'll keep your family safe. So imagine this. An alert suddenly blares on your phone. There's been a chemical release nearby. What do? Right at that second. Seriously, what's your first move? Knowing the answer to that is the difference between panic and having a plan. And that's exactly why we're talking about this today. Now, let's get one thing straight. This isn't about being scared of chemicals. As groups like the American Red Cross often point out, chemicals are, well, they're everywhere. They're a totally normal part of our world. They're in our medicine, they fuel our cars. The goal here is just practical, smart preparedness for the world we actually live in. And the truth is, most of us have a little stash of chemicals right in our own homes. We're talking about really common stuff. Cleaning supplies under the sink, maybe some paint cans in the garage, fertilizer for the garden, or antifreeze for the car. All super useful things, right? But they're also exactly why having a basic preparedness plan is just plain smart. Okay, so let's get into what you can do before anything ever happens. Honestly, this is the most important part. It's where you have all the control and where a little bit of planning makes a huge difference. And we can break it all down into two really simple parts. First, you've got your family emergency plan. That's all about knowing what to do. And second, you've got a simple home spill kit, which is about having what you need. Let's dig into both of those. All right, your family plan. Think of this as your playbook. You're going to want to pick a shelter room, an interior room above ground if you can, with as few windows as possible. Make sure everyone in the house knows how to shut off the ventilation, the HVAC system, to stop outside air from getting in. You'll also want some plastic sheeting and duct tape handy to seal up that room. And hey, don't forget your pets. They need a plan too. Lastly, look up the contact info for your local emergency planning committee, the LEPC. They're a fantastic community resource for this kind of thing. So what about this spill kit? I know it sounds super technical, but it's really not. It's basically just a collection of simple things you keep in one spot, all ready to go. The idea is that it helps you safely control, contain, and clean up a small spill if one happens. And look how simple this is. You've probably got most of this stuff lying around your house right now. Just grab a plastic tote you can label, some safety goggles, and some chemical-resistant gloves. Nitrile ones are great. Then you need something absorbent, and you know what works great? Plain old kitty litter, or even sawdust. Throw in a broom and dustpan that are just for the kit, add some heavy-duty trash bags, and that's it. You've just made a home spill kit. Now, along with your kit, you'll want a list of emergency numbers. But there is one number that is an absolute, non-negotiable must-have for every single person. This is it, the Poison Control Center hotline. I am serious. You should pause and save this in your phone right now. Then write it on a piece of paper and tape it inside the lid of that spill kit you're going to make. If there's ever an accidental exposure, this is your first call to get immediate expert medical advice. All right, now let's shift gears and talk about the during phase. An emergency's happening. All that prep you did is about to pay off. So what are the key things you need to do? For a big community-wide event, you're not going to be left guessing. The authorities will let you know what's happening through alerts and sirens. Your first job is simple. Get inside, turn on the TV or a local radio station, and listen. Follow what they say exactly as they say it. Most of the time, they're going to give you one of two instructions. The first is to shelter in place. That means you get inside immediately, bring your pets in, and lock everything. Doors, windows, vents, turn off all fans, heating, AC, anything that brings in outside air. Then you go to your safe room and seal it up. The other command you might hear is evacuate. And if you hear that, you leave. Right away. Grab your disaster kit and follow the exact routes they give you. No shortcuts. Okay, so that's the big picture stuff. But what about the much more likely scenario, right? A bottle of something potent tips over in the garage. What then? Well, that's when you go grab that spill kit we talked about. And for a small home spill, you just have to remember a super simple little trick. The 3 C's: control, contain, and clean. That's it. That's your entire game plan. Let's walk through it. First up, control. That means you put on your gloves and goggles. Then, if you can do it safely, you stop the spill at its source. Maybe that's just turning a bottle upright. Second, contain. You use your kitty litter to make a little wall or a dike around the spill so it can't spread any further. Make sure you keep it away from any drains. And third, clean. Once all the liquid is soaked up, you just sweep it all into a heavy-duty trash bag. Then you can wipe down the area to decontaminate it. See? Control, contain, clean. And that brings us to our final phase, after. The immediate danger is over, but there are still a few really important things to do to make sure everyone stays safe. And this one is absolutely non-negotiable. Whether you sheltered at home or you evacuated, you have to wait for the official all clear from the emergency officials. Don't leave your safe spot or try to go back home until they say it's safe. But let's say that during the whole event, you're worried you might have come into contact with a chemical. What do? Well, there's a critical first aid step you can take called personal decontamination. The process is actually pretty simple. First, you carefully take off all of your clothes. If you have a shirt that pulls over your head, it's better to cut it off. Seal all that clothing up in a plastic bag. Next, wash your hands really well with soap and water. Then, flush your eyes out with lots of clean water. And finally, gently wash your face and hair with soap and water, and then give your whole body a good rinse. Now, after you've done this initial decontamination, your very next step, as soon as officials say it's safe to move around, is to get to a medical facility. You need to get checked out by a professional. So we've covered a whole lot here, from what goes in a kit to what to do when an alert goes off. But really, all this information boils down to one simple, powerful idea. Being prepared isn't about living in fear. It's actually the opposite. It's about giving yourself and your family a plan. It's about having the tools you need to feel in control during a crisis. It's about empowerment. It's knowing that you have the power to protect the people you care about most. With everything we just went over and all the tools you can find right here on this webpage, you have everything you need to take that first step. So really, the only question left is, are you ready to build your plan?